look at the performance of the Asian markets this year and in the first half of this year, they've been reasonably buoyant, rising approximately 4% in sterling terms through the first half. We've seen very strong rallies in the Indian market, for example, and Indonesia around the political change in both of those markets. I think you have to be cautious as to whether those markets have perhaps rallied too far. Perhaps there's too much euphoria and valuations have run ahead of themselves. There are clearly concerns still around political developments in Thailand. More broadly, the rising tensions in the South China Sea have escalated. From an economic perspective, China, I think, remains a concern given the relative size of that economy to the broader region, and we have seen growth slow slightly there. There remain concerns around the property sector, which is weakening, and also around the rising debt levels in the economy as a whole. Broadly, we've seen markets continue to be driven by events outside of Asia, in particular the changes in macroeconomic policy and monetary policy in the US, which has continued to drive sentiment towards emerging markets and emerging Asia, and will continue to be a feature for the 6 months to a year ahead. Taking a long-term view, we think Asia is still a very attractive investment destination. It has still very good growth prospects. I think the IMF at this point is still forecasting GDP growth of around 6 to 7% for the more developing Asian economies. And when you look back relative to somewhat turbulent history in the region, we believe the countries and indeed the companies are now very much better positioned to withstand any volatility that we may see in the future. Balance sheets are strong both at the sovereign level and the corporate level. So we see good long-term prospects for the region.